Greetings to all of you. I hope you guys surrounded by happiness. Planning, compiling, and evaluating is the crucially great start to be successful if you have something definite that you want to do. But have you guys found out about the implementation checklist? So your group 9 will explain more about implementation checklist. There have Widi Asra, Mayuksia, Mozemi, Alifah Ilmanafia, Salsabila, Pratama Meswari, and Reinhardt.
Hello, I will talking about definition of implementation checklist. Implementation checklist is also called a strategic plan, outlines that a team must take when achieving a common goal and growth. This plan combines strategy, process, and action and covers all parts of a project from protection to fear and more. Making a change idea permanent requires planning, otherwise it can be a person-dependent process and things can quickly go back to how they were before your change idea. Using the implementation checklist allows you to plan all things that need to be in a place to make sure your idea becomes business and assured.
We have 3 proposed and implementation checklists. First, allows you to plan all the things that need to be in place. Using the implementation checklist allows you to plan all the things that need to be. Second, turn evidence and ideas into policy and practice that work. The meaning is be carrying out plain, intentional activities that aim to turn evidence and ideas into policy and practice that work of people in the real world. It is about putting a plan in action, the how as well the what. There is many purposes like this, like resources, structures, conservation, race, and climate.
Hi, my name is Renhao Chen and my student number is A191255. I will talking you about the benefits. So the first one is improves clarity and productivity. Ever walked through a day not knowing what you should tackle next? Every time we want to start a new task, we will have to jump through mental hurdles thinking about what task needs we attention next. The time we spend on this way not seem like much, but it quickly adds up. According to this Forbes article, you can spend as much as 60% of your office hours on such work about work. Now imagine things with a daily to-do list. You have a clear list of tasks sorted by priority. Now when you have to pick up a new task, all you have to do is mark the last task down and pick up the next task on the list. Using a day-to-day checklist will help you to get work done more productively. Second, brings transparency and accountability. Over 2/3 of remote workers expect their company to offer flexible work hours. At the same time, according to this Harvard study, remote managers have a hard time trusting their teams. Over 40% feel skeptical if remote members can stay motivated over long periods. Such trust issues can be easily dealt with using checklists. A simple list of things to do gives your team motivation they need to accomplish their tasks. And while it may seem like you're micromanaging, sometimes that's just what you need to do. Micromanaging a team member helps you when they are falling short of expectations. Giving such team members a daily to-do list and Reviewing their work at the end of the day helps you understand if they feel overwhelmed with work, whether they lack the necessary skills of knowledge, or if they need to work more productively. As a result, you can take effective corrective actions to help your team members achieve their potential without fostering an atmosphere of distrust. The purpose of the checklist is to help your team member improve. Third, reduce rework. Rework is one of the biggest reasons for project failure. According to this survey by Gineca, over 80% of respondents accepted that they spend over 50% of their time on rework. As a result, projects get delayed and budgets are overrun, resulting in project failure. How can checklists help? First, a checklist helps you define the scope of a project or a task. Once stakeholders and team members agree on the scope of work, the checklist serves as the subtasks. This way, the stakeholders cannot increase the scope of a project without revisiting the subtasks, effort estimates, and budgets. And second, it helps identify details about the project that may have slipped through the cracks. Splitting a project or a task into a checklist not only gives team members a clear path, but also serves to identify any missing steps or details in executing the task. Next one, improves work quality. There are 2 steps to improve work quality. Deliver complete work. Ensure that every piece of work is of the desired quality, which checklist you can do both. The team member knows what to deliver and silent knows what to expect. Checklists reduce the chance of tasks slipping through the cracks. Work is not complete unless all the pieces of work are delivered. Secondly, the person working on checklist looks at each item on the checklist individually. This ensures that every work item gets complete focus. Thus, it often meets the required quality levels. Next, provides motivation. Nothing saps motivation quicker than starting at a mountain of work. There is no end in sight, and the general feeling of tired and overwhelmed tasks over. Who in their right mind would feel motivated to work? On the other hand, with a clear list of things to do, you can focus on one task at a time, and when you are done, the simple act of marking the task down makes you feel good. Why? Stephen Camille described it best in her book, The Progress Principle. Workday events can make or break employees' inner work lives, but its forward momentum in meaningful work progress that creates the best inner work lives. Checking off tasks helps your team members experience small wins every now and then. This seemingly simple activity creates a positive feedback loop. As a result, your team feels motivated to get through the day without feeling overwhelmed. Next one, improves organization. Another way checklists improve productivity is by improving how work is organized and tracked in your team. First, your team can easily prioritize everyday tasks using task prioritization tools such as the Mosaico methods. This helps them focus on the most important tasks at hand. Second, keeping track of day-to-day tasks is much simpler. Checklists prevent tasks from slipping through the cracks. And finally, because everyone knows what everyone else is doing, you can manage the workload without underworking your team members. Next one is prevents burnout. According to Indeed, over half of the American workforce respondents experienced burnout in 2021. Even when it comes to remote teams, the three biggest challenges are loneliness, staying motivated to work over long periods of time, and working more hours. In fact, over 40% of people who shifted to remote work because of the pandemic report working more hours. Here is how burnout is affecting your team adversely according to Deloitte. 91% of workers believe that stress and frustration at work adversely affect their quality of work. 83% work say that burnout from work also negatively impacts their personal relationships. Even passion for work isn't through to keep burnout at bay. Over 64% of people who feel passionate about work also experience stress and burnout. A task list, in its own little way, gives every member a sense of purpose, motivation, and accomplishment as they check off each items for their list.
Hello, my name is Ma Yuxia. My matrix number is A191700. Let me talk about how to use the implement checklist. The implement checklist have 5 key steps to successful implementation. The step 1, standardization. At the step, list all the process, job, and tasks necessary to maintain your change idea. Use the idea to record them all and assign people roles and responsibilities to make sure everyone knows what is expected of them. This includes things like new standards, procedures, and protocols. The step 2, documentation. Make sure you document the new process and how that will work. Make sure you record who is responsible for keeping the process up to date. And the step 3, measurement. How will you know the implement is maintained if it is not measured? Use the table in the checklist to record what will measure as quality control. Think about who will do the measuring and how often. Include a clear operational definition to make sure everyone measures the same things. And the step 4, education. Now, you need to make sure everyone understands the new process. This includes new people joining your team, what training is required, and who needed to be trained, how often, and who is responsible for keeping the materials up to date. And the last one, resource. Finally, think about what resources are required to implement your change idea and where will this resource come from. And now you are ready to implement your change idea.
Hello everyone, my name is Ibu Asra. My matrix number is 185313. So we just are making the implementation checklist. So the final step is implemented. Implemented is not only to test the effectiveness of our implementation checklist, but also the test implementation ability of the members. The last step can be divided into 2, testing and implemented. First of all, testing. Testing is the best way to detect bugs to avoid adverse error. So that the implementation checklist is always safe, correct, and stable and continues to function. The monitoring process team needs to communicate adequately to access the risk. Communication allows us to eliminate blind spot and also finally collect the problem, jointly analysis, and discuss the solution measure. And the last one is improve the list. Okay, well, from me, thank you everyone.
After making the implementation checklist, the final step is implemented. Implementation is not only to test the effectiveness of our implementation checklist, but also to test the implementation ability of team members. First of all, the checklist should conform to the actual situation. Do not prefer text beyond the scope of ability. If the list cannot be completed, the implementation of the whole list will fail. Second, the necessary condition for the implementation of the list is to participate in the list on the basis of teamwork through effectiveness cooperation. The procedures on the list must be implemented strictly to ensure that everyone knows their responsibility and understands the standards and procedures to be implemented. Finally, do not ignore problems and skip steps in your implementation. Communicate with each other more. Cooperate with each other. Exchange information in time. And jointly promote the implementation of the list.
All right. After knowing, of course, applying is the most famous thing that you should do. We wish you can understand our presentation and will be useful and examine anywhere, because there is no smooth way to achieve something, but repurposing can be the lead way and easier way to avoid any obstacles. That's all from us. I hope you guys have a nice day.